Good morning. It is the physician gardener, aka Dr. Kashidi Long, and I am going to give you the July garden tour and update. We've had a lot of growth, a lot of things going on. So, we are going to start right here. So, right here is my watermelon patch, or one of them, I would say. And if you look right here, we have a sugar baby watermelon. And then over here, we have a bigger sugar baby watermelon. Um, this this whole area, the front is sugar baby watermelons. The back is all sweet watermelons. The all sweet, I don't actually see any melons on yet, but that's fine. Sugar baby has a shorter growth growth or time to fruit period than all sweet. Sugar baby I think is supposed to be like 90 days, 75 or 90 days, and then all sweet I think is like 110, 120. So I don't need all the watermelon at one time, and it's fine that one is going faster than the other. Next, this is citronella. I strategically placed citronella around the garden, citronella and lemongrass, to try and cut down on mosquitoes when I'm out here. But I also spray myself because there's a lot of mosquitoes and they love me and my O negative blood. This, this is a volunteer tomato plant. I don't remember tomatoes falling in this spot. However, this is definitely a cherry tomato plant, and let's see if I can find a good one. Bring it like right here. If y'all can see that, I'm not sure. Those are, they look like my large cherry tomatoes, or the other one that I have is like something sweet. Sweetie is the name of it. Sweetie cherry tomatoes. And it's just growing like crazy. It's honestly bigger than all my other tomato plants, but also I don't prune this one at all. It is in a little tomato cage, the little cheap flimsy ones that everybody says don't use. They're not good enough for your tomato. Well, it's working for this, so we'll just see how it goes. So the next thing we have, this is, I put a couple of different flowers in this, like poppies and wildflowers and zinnias, and the squirrels kept digging it up. So the only thing growing is the zinnias. They are resilient. Even though they're kind of falling over, they're doing great. This is my cucumber plant. Let's see. These are national pickling cucumbers. I've gotten 4 off of here so far, but I see 1, 2, 3. There's at least 4 or 5 other cucumbers on here. This sad story was my buttercup squash. I had 3 plants in here. They were doing well. You can see this is a little squash that was coming. And it was murdered. It was murdered by the squash vine borer. That right there? Do you see how damaged the stalk is? It's black, it's flimsy. Let's see. Oh, it came apart. See that right there? Damage from the squash vine borer. They killed all 3 of these plants. Actually, let me correct that. They definitely killed 2. 1 might be trying to hold on and make a comeback. So we'll see. Because I see some new green growth right here. So that one might make a comeback. I'm not sure yet. All right, so moving on. Actually, let me just flip the camera. This is one of my herb grow bags. So this is anise hyssop, and that is chamomile. I need to pick some of these flowers because I see some of them are drying out. But loads of chamomile flowers this year. That'll be great in the fall, which is when I drink more chamomile tea. Let's keep going around. This is my zucchini plant. Not sure if it's going to make it. While it still has green leaves up here, You can see right there, it's been ate up. Squash vine borer, again, just doing damage. Real a-hole move right there. This is a bag of potatoes. You can see the leaves are falling over, but they're not brown yet, so I'm gonna let the potatoes keep growing and we'll see what happens. Shishito peppers doing well. There's a little one and there's a little one. I harvested this yesterday, so there's not as many. And I made blistered shishito peppers to go along with some dumplings that I got from Trader Joe's for dinner the other night, and it was so good. This is stinging nettle. At some point, I'm going to harvest this and dry it out for nettle leaf tea, and I saw a recipe for nettle pesto, so that'll be fun. These are my zinnia. No, these aren't zinnias. These are dahlias. So this is my first time growing them. I got the tubers from Holland Bulb, and I can say they are doing pretty darn well. Like, look how pretty they are. Look at this one. All right. And peony plant, haven't really grown yet. There were supposed to be flowers back there, but it's clearly gotten taken over by weeds. I'm gonna have to have my lawn man come through and just whack this whole bed. This is my apple mint. It's hot now, so I feel like it's struggling a little bit. I might just cut it all back and then hope it comes back in the fall. I think it has like some powdery mildew on it, like right there. So I don't really want to harvest it for tea with it looking all crazy like that. All right. Let's do these beds. So as you can see, I have shade cloth on my leafy green beds because we're in a heat wave and it is hot AF. But I'll lift this up a little bit. Okay, so in here we have collard greens, Swiss chard, a couple of shishito pepper plants. That tall one back there is a cayenne pepper plant. There is another zucchini plant in here that I have to check and see if it looks like it got eaten by the vine borer. There's a red cabbage plant back there that somehow is still alive. I would have thought that it would have bolted by now, but it's still making it. This is holy basil. This is dill. This was cilantro, but as you can see, it's looking real sad. So I think I can get some coriander seeds off of these if it continues to dry out. Rosemary in the corner, that is a perennial, so that's been there since last year. This is a Brussels sprout plant. Once again, don't know how it's still alive. Thought it would have bolted, but let me show you these other ones. So this is also a Brussels sprout plant, and so is that one over there. They are huge, and I can see where the Brussels sprouts should be, but they're just not big enough to eat. So I'm letting the plants grow because I don't know if they'll, try to do anything. Brussels sprouts have a really long growing season. So I don't want to rip them out and they're just on the verge of becoming sprouts. But somebody let me know if it's too late and they're not actually going to do anything but just continue to get taller. Let me see. I'm going to go in here. So now I am under the shade cloth. By the way, this is very bootleg. So this is my kale and more collard greens. This is that red cabbage that I was telling y'all. It's still trying to make it. Maybe form a little head. There's another one in here that's just kind of small. This is I think it's like cayenne pepper plant. Where's my thing? Yeah, it's a cayenne pepper plant. And there are a couple little peppers on it, but they're kind of hard to spot because I don't even really see them right now. But my husband, he saw them when he came out the other day. All right, you can see my Swiss chard in here, looking pretty good. This is another shishito plant. There's a bell pepper plant in here somewhere. Oh, there it is. See a little bell pepper? All right. There's a couple onions in here, like that one I could probably pull soon. I pulled one out yesterday. Anyways, and then random basil. Let's see. Another kale. I planted some cucumbers in here, and they are gonna go up this little curvy piece of metal. And then those are poblano pepper plants. I got those from the pharmacy. Did not start those from seed like all the other stuff in here. Yeah, I got those like 2 weeks ago, so they're gonna be behind all the other plants. I think that's pretty much it for in here. Our parsley's been going crazy, and we've just been trying to stop it from flowering, and yeah, using it in different dishes. Okay. So this shade cloth, I have some T-posts that are in the ground on both sides of these beds, and I just threw the cloth over the T-posts. I do have it secured on this side with zip ties, but on the other side it's just hanging over the poles. Okay. This is a bell pepper plant that we've already gotten a couple peppers off of. That's weeds. This is ginger. So I had some ginger that looked like it was sprouting in the house, and I just put it in this pot, and it's doing very well. This is a goji plant. You know, I was confused. I thought all that greenery belonged to this potato plant. But this is tomatoes. And I don't know how tomatoes got in that pot. But, oh well. Those are more potatoes. Citrus. This is a lime tree. This is a Meyer lemon. Rosemary. No, lavender. No, that one's rosemary. Lime. Okay. This is either a key lime or lemon tree, but the squash has climbed over from over there to over here, and I'm gonna have to get that off of there. I don't know if it'll actually suffocate the tree, but I don't want it putting too much stress on it. All right, that's lavender. This is a lemon lime tree. It's not looking very healthy. The leaves look real crazy. If anybody knows what that is, let me know. This is this big viney plant that you see all over the place. That is spaghetti squash. It's growing like crazy. So I would say it's one of the more aggressive squashes in turn. Oops. It's a very aggressive, yeah, vine, because it's trying to take over, really. Like, it's really big. Now, over here, it has horrible powdery mildew, or at least what I assume is powdery mildew. But I am also not willing to try and treat that. I'm not trying to fight for my life in this garden, honestly. So whatever I get, I get. And then, let's see. These are peach trees. They're young. We don't expect them to produce yet. This is, I got some new mint from this one nursery I went to. So this one is chocolate mint, which I've had before, but accidentally let dry out in my tower, so it didn't do well. But this actually has a good amount. I'm gonna harvest some of this. And this I've never heard of, but strawberry mint. And it's fairly tasty. So that'll make a good tea. But once again, I probably need to cut them back to encourage more bushy-like growth instead of it being all viney. And this is my regular, I think it's either Kentucky mint or something else. I lost the tag. But yeah, it's pretty good. And let's see, that's thyme. And this is more potatoes. And we're gonna go in here. All right, so this was supposed to be a root vegetable patch. None of them actually bulbed up. I'm gonna do soil tests When I get some time, I'm going to send it off to the North Carolina Extension to see if my soil is deficient in anything, because I have yet to get a good crop of root vegetables. I got like 2 beets last year. But anyways, I had radishes, beets, and turnips in here. So the turnip greens we can actually eat. I mean, we can eat the beet greens and the radishes too, but the turnip greens are the biggest ones over here. This is more leafy greens. This curly kale looks good. The lacinato kale looks aight. And I say aight because, you know, I can tell that it's been eaten up by caterpillars and stuff. And then these are some smaller Brussels sprout plants that never really took off as much as the ones over there. I planted some extra tomatoes over here, varieties that I didn't have space for in the main bed. So these are Brandywine and what's the other one? Brandywine and Cherokee Purple are the tomatoes over here. And once again, you can see the spaghetti squash vine is just going crazy. That is a ginormous spaghetti squash. And we will continue to see that plant. Let's see. Cherokee Purple, Brandywine. I think this is actually a cherry tomato right in front of me, but that is a Brandywine, and then Cherokee Purple is back there. Flip it over here again. This is a Brussels sprout plant. You can see teeny tiny Brussels sprouts in there. Once again, not big enough to eat. I'm just leaving the plant to let it do what it do. This is some arugula that's gone a little crazy and is flowering. I'm leaving that alone as well. And then right here, you see mini pumpkins and rainbow blend. So this vine is pumpkin. And I do see some evidence of squash vine borer. So I don't know if this plant's gonna make it, but right now it looks okay. And hopefully it survives and we'll have some cute little pumpkins in the fall. Let's see. This is, ooh, oh, something poked me. Okay. This is Orangelo, which is a watermelon. It's a type of watermelon, and it is doing mediocre. It has grown a lot more in recent days. I think honestly that the spaghetti squash is blocking its sunlight and inhibiting its growth a little bit. So who knows when I'll get watermelons from that. All right, you can see this spaghetti squash plant is also vine borer damaged. If anybody has real tips on how to prevent the vine borer or repair its damage, let me know. But I had like 5 spaghetti squash plants like take off, so maybe it just got this one and the rest of them will be fine. I don't know, we'll see. I do see at least 3 or 4 spaghetti squashes mixed in here, so even if the plant dies, hopefully I'll still get those 3 or 4 fruits, so it's not a complete waste. All right, what do we got over here? Okay, I think I skipped. These are my hibiscus / sorrel plants, and that one is doing really, really well. I haven't seen any flowers yet, but hopefully that'll come soon. And let's see, I think this is a baby one. I planted some extra seeds just because. So I think this one and that one. This is a weed. I have these random vines popping up all over that I have to keep pulling out. So yeah, those are looking pretty good. I know they like hot weather. Sorrel / hibiscus is, you know, super popular in the Caribbean. So this 9 million degree heat wave we got going on, they're probably loving it, unlike me. All right. So as you can see, this plant is dying. It has one little patty pan squash left, and that's probably gonna be it because it is also vine borer damaged. I think that one has damage as well. If you look right there, this one may have some damage right there, but it is the most prolific one, or maybe that one is. So I think maybe two of these plants are gonna die. This one's definitely gonna die. And then three of them, well, no, there's four. So this one's definitely gonna die. That one's a maybe. At this point in the video, something happened to either my mic or the phone, and the audio sound very choppy and just indistinguishable. So my patty pan squash, some of it may live, some of it may die. It's okay. I've already gotten like 10 of those squashes and will be preserving them to use for in the future. In between the patty pan squash, I planted more butternut squash seeds. So you can see those coming up right here. Butternut squash got the top vote of all the squashes from my family. And so I decided to plant some more of those because only two of those plants from my initial planting grew. And I just want to make sure that we have, a good number for when the fall comes. So back over here in this Three Sisters bed, we have the strawberry popcorn, the purple hull peas, and the spaghetti squash. I do think that planting all of those seeds at one time probably wasn't the best idea, and next year I'm going to figure out how to stagger it. But you can see the corn silks and the pollinators. There's a bee flying around. And yeah, so the corn hopefully will do okay, and we'll get some popcorn seeds from that. And then you can see some, oh, here's a bean. This is what the beans look like when they're young. So you can eat them like this, or you can wait for them to dry. As they dry, they turn purple. And then once they're fully dry, you can shell them and get black eyed peas, which is pretty darn cool. I think I got like a 16-ounce jar's worth last year. I don't know what else I was trying to tell y'all about those peas in the original video. But let's see. Moving on. That's what this looks like from the other side. I know I need to fish around in there and harvest some more of those peas just by how big the first one I got was. But if you look right there, you can see a corn cob or shoot or whatever you want to call it. So I'll have to check back with that corn frequently to see when it's ready to harvest. The saying for corn is that it should be knee-high by the 4th of July, and this corn has got to be almost 4 feet tall because it's not quite as tall as me, but it's getting there. Now down here, you can see my Moon and Stars watermelon. The vines are finally starting to take off because I planted this when I planted all the other things in this area, and they have just been really slow growing. So I honestly think this is not a good area for watermelon. I don't think it gets enough sun. So next year, I definitely will not be planting watermelon in these two long rows over on this side, because the ones in the middle of the yard where more sun is present throughout the day are growing so much more vigorously. I just don't think this area is good. Now here is one of my mammoth sunflowers, and it's mixed in with, which vine is that? I think it's mixed in with the patty pan squash, but the flowers haven't shown up that well and the leaves look very eaten up. I'm not sure what's eating the sunflower leaves, but we'll see. I'm hoping to get a pretty nice size sunflower, even with it looking a little crazy. That one fell over. But on this side, these are not mammoth sunflowers, and they are just as tall, and they have a prettier flower on them. I think these are red Russian sunflowers. And so they've had several blooms, and they're just nice. They attract the pollinators and they look pretty. So 10 out of 10 would plant again. All right, now down here we have delicata squash. You can see this plant looks like it's dying, and there is your squash vine borer damage. Hopefully this little squash will be ripe enough to actually eat. This plant next to it also has some vine borer damage. There's a smaller squash, but the plant itself still looks fairly healthy. So I am just trying to bank on maybe the vine borer got to that late and has left the. This is my two butternut squash plants that are surviving. I think being underneath the corn and the beans, specifically the beans, stunted their growth. I think the beans shaded out the squash too quickly, and you can see them growing up the corn stalks. But these beans were so vigorous. I think if I plant them again next year, either they're going to be in their own patch, or I will let the corn and the squash get more of a head start and then plant the beans, because they went so crazy. Like, I really need to dig in there and start harvesting again, because I got some last week, but I know just based on how crazy the vines are going that there must be a bunch more in there. It's just so hot to be out here looking through the greenery trying to find beans that blend in with all the other greenery. Um, this, heat wave that we got going on is really a hindrance to being in the garden and enjoying the garden time. Because even if you get out there early, it's still, once you start working, you're just pouring sweat. It was 80 degrees at like 8 o'clock this morning. All right, so this is my okra. I have like 5 okra plants right here. Some of the leaves have little holes in them, like something's been eating them. But I come through and I beat my okra because I was told that that's what you got to do. You got to beat your okra. That plant is the only one that's produced okra so far, but I see flower buds coming on some of the other plants, so I'm getting ready for my influx of okra. I am going to be trying some more traditional type recipes like stewed okra and tomatoes and other okra friendly things, because okra is really good for your gut and I really want to like it. I didn't like it as a kid because it's slimy, but as an adult, hopefully my palate's a little more refined and I can get some of those good benefits from a traditional West African plant, that's also been very popular in the South for a long time. So, I think that is all for in here. Let's go to the other side of the garden. Um, these are some of my mom's plants that she just dropped off over here when she downsized. A lot of them died over the winter. Some of them are coming back. These are watermelons that I transplanted. So over here last year, I had a watermelon explode and I did not clean up the seeds. I just left them there. And so, because of that, I've had random watermelon seedlings sprouting over the last couple of weeks, and some of them I've tried to pick up and relocate. And I tried relocating some of them to this watermelon patch, didn't really work out. The ones in those two black containers seem to be doing the best of the relocated watermelon seedlings. Um, just have to make sure they, continue to get enough water since they're going to be in containers and won't be able to draw from the ground. This little gray planter has ginger, zinnias, and some other little random flowers in it. I think I put like a pollinator pack or something in there, just because I wanted to have some more flowers around the garden to help with pollination. The sage is perennial. It's been there for, I think this is its third or fourth year in that spot. And we will cut it back and it just comes back more vigorously. So yay, sage. This is flowering plant, this tall flowering plant, that is a carrot that I have let go to flower, and I'm going to see if I can get my own carrot seeds off of that. This is Swiss chard that I planted in the fall. And then also we have some sweet potatoes in here from the slips that y'all saw me sprout. And they are starting to take off. For the longest, they were just kind of meh, but now they're getting big. Strawberry plants, y'all saw me plant those earlier this year. Depending on what the sweet potatoes do, how vigorous they are, I might need to relocate these strawberry plants somewhere else. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, now we're at my tomato bed. I have all types of tomatoes. So this is my snacking tomato side. So over here we have our beefsteak, our large cherry tomatoes, the sweetie tomatoes, which is another type of cherry, and then black creme. Oh, and yellow tomatoes. So the black creme tomatoes have done very well. They actually tend to get bigger than the beefsteak tomatoes, which would probably surprise most people. But honestly, they're better growers than the beefsteak. So next year, I might not even grow beefsteak. Down here below them, we have parsley and strawberries, some more coriander, aka cilantro, that has gone to seed. The seeds are called coriander. So we'll have fresh coriander seeds to work with soon. They look pretty dried out. I'm going to try to harvest that soon. And then you also see how the watermelon has gotten out of the little chicken wire fenced area that I had it in and is now trying to climb up this other chicken wire. It's doing that in two different spots. So I'm gonna have to try and encourage it to go either back in its patch or just along the black fabric, so that it doesn't try to take over this bed. All right, other things under the tomatoes, we have some arugula down here and some anise hyssop that I just kind of let do what they want to do. And this whole side of the tomato bed are my paste tomatoes. So that is going to be my Roma tomatoes. Yeah, Roma tomatoes right here. San Marzanos in the middle, and then Amish paste on this side. And they've been producing fairly well. We have some basil underneath them to help, and then oregano. I think having the herbs underneath along with the marigolds really does help prevent pests and what are those things I hate? Tomato hornworm. Yeah, so my tomato plants, they look great. They look healthy. I'm very happy with them. There's some calendula under here that did not really take off. I planted the seeds and they sprouted, and then they said, okay, we're not going to grow. Not right now. So hopefully in the fall, they'll take off for real, for real. The berry patch, I feel like is kind of done for the season. Like the blackberries, I've seen them get red and then they're like shriveling up and dying. So I think it's too hot, honestly, for them to get their peak. Or that, or the birds are just snatching them before I see them. The blueberries didn't do very well this year. The big bush in the back had some, but otherwise they've been kind of meh. I think I ate like 5 or 6 blueberries. The raspberries did very well for a springtime yield. We were coming out and getting them every day for a couple of weeks. We'd get like a handful a day. The fruit trees in the pots, I'm just keeping them alive at this point. No fruit on any of them. So that is our July 2026 garden tour. It is it's the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July to those that celebrate. And I will see y'all next month for the August tour.